Happy New Year, travelers! I just got finished reading The Children of the Nameless, which is that new magic story that came out. Quick aside before we get on with this episode, Blue Black, the last episode, the spy and the mastermind, that went great. Thank you guys for all the support and all the kind things you guys said. Davriel, who is one of the main characters of Children of the Nameless, fits the blue-black persona perfectly. And if anyone is interested in me doing like character analysis and color coding each of the characters in the story, you should definitely leave that as a comment for a later video. But you guys didn't click on this looking for Children of the Nameless. You clicked on here to learn more about the red-white combination, which, as you can see, is one of my favorite color combinations. So I'm going to try not to be biased with this one. Before we continue with this red-white, white-red jamboree of fantastical fun, I would like to give a huge thank you to Gizholm, or Gizholm, or whoever this guy is up here. He's the one, or she, it's the internet. Thank you for commenting on the last episode, the Blue-Black episode, because that's why this one's getting made. You specifically asked for it, I am delivering it. So thank you once again for commenting. Those of you who didn't, you can comment on this one, and I will most likely do a video on whatever it is you want me to do a video on. Okay, so this is actually really interesting because the first one was blue-black, which is an ally color combination. If you look at the wheel, you can see that blue and black are right next to each other. With red and white, they're enemies, naturally. They're natural enemies. Chaos and order, freedom and rules. The dichotomy between the two clashes naturally. So mainly, the first thing to note is that red and white, while they are enemies, they share an ally in green. And green is diametrically opposed to blue-black, as we saw in the last video. Meaning, red and white is basically anti-blue-black. So where blue-black is all about being sneaky and making sure that you have more of an advantage than everybody else, red-white wants to just kind of make everyone know what's going on. If it was up to red-white, every game would be chess. You can see everything out on the field. There's no like secrets there. If you have the ability, you can do it. It has nothing to do with tricks. There's no underhanded, haha, got you, activated my trap card kind of thing. Everything is out in the open. Honesty. Or more bluntness, I think is a better term. So, because it sees blue-black as being basically just like the sneaky snake of individuals, the kind of guy that you just don't want to associate with, red-white is all about doing what's right. Problem is that it decides what is right in addition to deciding to do what's right, which means that it can very easily result in the two combinations, the names. Vigilante and Zealot. Zealot, of course, being white-red, and Vigilante being red-white. As previously mentioned, justice for everyone is basically the whole shtick for red-white, white-red, also known as Boros, which is the shirt I'm wearing, a Boros shirt. But basically, red-white, white-red. Red is all about freedom, like I said. It's emotion, it's what you feel. You're in the moment, you do what you feel like you gotta do, and then boom, you do it. There's no, you don't wait. You don't sit there and go, maybe that's a bad idea. It probably is, but that's not gonna stop red, because red wants to get that reaction. So, white. White on this red-white spectrum is more about order, ensuring that everyone is safe. That's why it's like a defender, it's a protector. So with white at the helm, you basically wind up with this individual who's just filled with this fervor. Now, it's easiest to describe it as a religious fervor, although basically any kind of rule set can easily result in a zealot. It could even just be a fandom. Now, red-white, on the other hand, is obviously emotion, passion. You gotta do something, supplemented by white, but make sure it follows the rules to an extent. So that's why we get the vigilante, somebody who is consistently seeking out justice, usually without consulting anyone else because they're going by their own internal moral compass, which may or may not be on fire due to the fact that they allow their emotions to determine exactly what it is they feel like is right. So what it comes down to is that white-red is more, there's an absolute evil. There's something in particular that you need to destroy, root out, hunt down, and get rid of. And you are not going to stop until you first off told everyone what you're doing, and second off made sure that has been done. Red-white, on the other hand, tends to react in a very rash, unrational, irrational, rash-like manner, in that they'll do something because they feel like they have to do it, and then they'll justify it afterwards. So that means that one is basically predetermining this is right and then acting on it immediately, while the other one acts on something immediately and then justifies it after the fact. Both, of course, allow for people to be very active and do something and get stuff done, but that also leaves a ton of room for error. In case you guys couldn't figure that out by now, the strength of Red-White is that they're super inspiring. They believe wholeheartedly in what it is that they're saying, and they will get you on board if you give them enough time. They will talk at you and explain things to you and do things in such a fashion that you feel emotionally invested in their cause. That's what makes them so dangerous, is that a red-white individual can temporarily make somebody else red-white because they just have that much passion for the thing. As a result, you can make a sizable mob out of your friends and your family and your neighbors and the people that are in the next town over because they hear about how just passionate you are. And you basically catch everyone's soul on fire with that passion. So good job on you, Red-White. The problem is that while it's very easy to expand and send out more flames, the internal flame of a Boros individual burns a little too hot. What I mean by that is that an individual who is of the Boros inclination will find themselves constantly at war with themselves. When you have a moral compass and you are trying to do something right, it's very important that you follow those rules. But like I said, Red breaks rules. Red is all about freedom and doing what they feel like doing, which means that sometimes they'll get caught up in the moment and it will be disastrous. Guilt, self-deprecation, all these things can very easily come from a red-white individual who holds themselves to such a high standard that they could never reach it because of their own human flaws. Makes for a very interesting character, but also a very sad life. Unless you can focus on striving towards a standard that can be attained. So Red-White has a huge problem with balancing, making sure that they don't go overboard, because overboard is where we tend to go. By the way, I used to be Red-White. And now we come to one of my favorite parts, the characters. So, like I said last time, we got one good guy, we got one bad guy. Could be a group, could be an individual, could be real, could be fake, could be anything, right? Well, for the good guy, the most vigilante red-white individual I can think of is the Punisher. Now, Punisher has recently gotten a lot of popularity because of Netflix, which is awesome because he's a really cool character, has a really interesting backstory, and I'm just going to kind of go through that beginning part real quick. Minor spoilers if you've never heard of the Punisher, who's had like 5 movies, like I said, a TV series, and a slew of comics, and like, I mean, he kills an entire planet of zombies. Never mind all that. Anyways, the Punisher. He's a cop. Good guy. He believes in doing what's right, and he's very upstanding, and he's basically mono-white when he first starts out. You say he's still red-white because he cares a whole lot about his family. And he has a huge family. And for some reason, in a cartel that he had been in opposition with decided that they wanted to mow down his entire family, then that could ignite some emotions that could result in a vigilante, which is basically exactly what happened. So basically, Frank Castle, that's the Punisher, gets his entire family killed. They just get slaughtered. And it's like, not just his nuclear family, it's everyone that is close to him is killed at the same time. He's even supposed to be dead, but he gets out of it, and he's like, and then he goes and he starts killing guys. But the thing is, that's not right. It's not right to just go out and kill guys, right? So that's the thing. He's red-white. He's doing this thing, and it's emotionally driven, and he feels like it's right, and he justifies doing terrible things to terrible people because they're terrible. On to the bad guy. So, Froyo. No, not Froyo. Frollo, not Froyo. I'm going to call him Froyo because that sounds better. Froyo from Hunchback of Notre Dame. He's the perfect example of a red-white villain. Or white-red. Quick quick recap on that character. He is definitely a zealot. Froyo is extremely passionate about his beliefs and what is right and what is good and what is pure and what is beautiful. He's really obsessed with beauty, which would possibly make him blue, but considering the way that he allows his emotions to basically cause every terrible thing in The Hunchback of Notre Dame, it's kind of hard to make that case. Now, the way he treats Quasimodo and Esmeralda and, well, his just general existence kind of shows that he is blinded to what is actually wrong because he believes that he is right. He honestly thinks that his way is truth, justice, and light, when in fact he's causing death, destruction, and great deals of sorrow, and some reason songs and gargoyles. Well, that'll do it for this episode. I tried to keep it a little bit in the shorter range because I didn't want to just talk so much about red, white, and how much I love the color combination, because it's just they're very interesting characters to write because of, like I said, they are just torn by their own decisions, or they are so blinded by their decisions and have tricked themselves into believing their own version of the truth that they're super dangerous. Like last time, please leave a comment about what color combination you'd like me to do next. I'm going to leave a link to the color test in the description below. Please share this with your friends so that they can take the color test, get some new results in there so I can get some new material to go off of. As of the time of recording this, no one has actually gotten the Vigilante response. I'm hoping to get more people to partake in the test so that we can have more and more things to go off of. Say you want to know what colors the Doctor from Doctor Who is, or what colors Mario and Luigi are, stuff like that. I could do that. The Doctor Who one would probably be a really long episode due to the fact that each of the doctors has their own personality, so maybe give me a number if you're doing that one in particular. But as far as things are concerned, just comment what you want to see and I will do my best to deliver. But until then, leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already. Like I said, take the test, do it. And I'll see you guys at the end of the month of January with a new color episode.